Our bodies require food as a vital fuel source on a daily basis. Proteins aid in the stabilization of blood sugar and the reduction of hunger, while fruits and vegetables offer a variety of vitamins, including vitamins A, C, and potassium. Carbohydrates give the body energy and protect it from certain diseases. Aside from the nutritional advantages, eating also tends to unite family and friends, whether it's sharing a meal at the dining room table, celebrating a special occasion, or sharing one of life's milestones with people who matter most to you. This list of 10 odd and terrible food-related deaths includes items for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and sweets. Number 10. Cod cake, fish cake. Neil Parkinson, Darren Hickey's partner, characterized the 51-year-old Lancashire, England-based wedding coordinator as larger than life. Unfortunately, he lost his life as a result of his tireless efforts to make his client's wedding day flawless. One of Hickey's chefs urged him to eat a newly made fish cake on April 4, 2019. But after consuming the hot fish cake, Hickey had excruciating agony and burning in his throat, which prompted him to visit a nearby urgent care facility for treatment. After receiving acetaminophen there for the pain, Hickey left to relax at home. Later that night, Hickey was found upstairs choking and coughing when Parkinson heard him making noises. Hickey was taken to a nearby hospital, but he was subsequently declared dead. According to an autopsy, the hot fish cake caused burns in Hickey's throat that were too deep to be detected without specialized tools. Hickey was also unable to breathe or swallow due to the swelling in his airways, which finally led to asphyxiation. Number 9. Licorice and Black Doctor. Man dies after consuming too much black licorice. A 54-year-old unidentified guy from Massachusetts who worked a physically taxing job in construction, routinely walked his dog, and had no history of heart issues. Although on the exterior he might have appeared healthy, his bad eating habits and addiction to licorice would finally take his life. The man used to frequently eat red licorice, but he later switched to black licorice, eating up to 2 big bags of it every day for 3 weeks. Sadly, in January 2019, as he was dining at a McDonald's, he started to feel full body shakes, and eventually passed out. When first responders arrived on the scene, they started CPR before taking the man to the nearest hospital. He was put on a ventilator and admitted to the cardiac ICU when he arrived. But shortly after that, he passed away. Low potassium levels can result from glycyrrhizic acid, the sweetening component extracted from licorice root, which can also elevate blood pressure, produce edema, and result in heart failure. In this instance, the man's death was a result of these adverse effects. He ate so much black licorice that his potassium levels dropped, which subsequently resulted in cardiac arrest. Number 8. Unboiled eggs. Subhash Yadav, 42, of the Jaunpur district of Uttar Pradesh, went to the Bibiganj market area on November 4, 2019, to eat eggs. However, the buddies got into a disagreement and instead of just eating together, they chose to resolve it by competing in an egg-eating contest. The first one to consume 50 uncooked eggs would receive $24.50, 2,000 rupees. Yadav accepted the challenge and had eaten 41 eggs successfully, but when he tried to eat the 42nd egg, he passed out and lost consciousness. Yadav was taken to a nearby hospital, but he passed away a short time later from problems brought on by his overeating. Number 7. Pepper sauce chili. Andrew Lee, a forklift truck driver from Eddington, West Yorkshire, was 33 years old. His true love, though, was food, and he aspired to become a chef someday. On September 19, 2008, Lee and Michael, the brother of his fiancée, decided to engage in a friendly competition to determine who could make and consume the spiciest chili sauce. The red chilies that Lee would utilize in his sauce were even grown with assistance from his father as part of a well-thought-out plan. After eating lamb chops and potato mash when Lee got home from work, he then proceeded to devour a plateful of hot chilies and dolmio pasta sauce. Even while it appeared that Lee had won the bet after finishing a whole dish of his spicy concoction, catastrophe soon ensued. Lee started to experience discomfort and itching all over his body as he got ready for bed. Lee then requested Samantha Bailey, his girlfriend, to scratch his back until he dozed off. Sadly, Lee had a heart attack while he was sleeping, and when his girlfriend discovered him the following morning, he had passed away. Number 6. Bread toast. Vera Williams, 75, of Lee's Tidder, Rill, sought medical attention for throat pain on October 10, 2014, after eating a hard piece of toast. She wasn't ill, according to the doctor who examined her, so he simply sent her home. On October 23, Williams went back to the hospital as a result of her neck pain. Williams did not describe her pain in more detail, nor did she let the doctor know that it had persisted for 2 weeks. Williams was given medication and sent home because it was thought that she might have an infection at the time. Williams started coughing up blood the following day, at which point an ambulance was called to take him to the hospital. Then, a scan showed that the toast's point had, in a 3 in a million strange accident, torn her esophagus and caused blood to enter her intestines. Williams had a significant heart condition, so doctors decided against operating. Regrettably, a few days later, she passed away. Number 5. Sandwich with corned beef. On the morning of August 16, 2010, Mitchell Carey, 43, of Gun Road, Knebworth, had skipped breakfast. He consequently made the choice to have a corned beef sandwich for lunch at a nearby cafe. Carey, though, passed out at work only 25 minutes after his meal. Carey was brought to the hospital, but was later released and given medication to manage his stomach aches and diarrhea at home. The stomach cramps returned the next day, and Carey started having violent vomiting before falling once more at home. Carey had a heart attack and organ failure when she was taken to the hospital. 2 days later, he passed away. He tragically passed away from food illness after getting the unusual Clostridium perfringens type of bacterium from the corned beef. In fact, this bacterium is so uncommon that just 7 instances have ever been documented worldwide. Number 4. Chicken broth. Isa Ismail, 25, from Iraq was a skilled cook who had spent the previous 2 years preparing meals in party halls that could hold 25,000 diners per day. He had worked as a cook for 8 years in total. Ismail was preparing a sizable pot of chicken soup for a wedding reception on June 15, 2021. Ismail, however, unfortunately slipped and fell into the soup pot. Ismail was taken to a nearby hospital for medical attention after sustaining third-degree burns over more than 70% of his body. However, sadly, he passed away from his wounds 5 days later. Number 3. Brownie pies. Alexandra Yudina, a Moscow resident who is 23 years old, graduated from college and received a paramedic doctor degree. Sadly, her triumph was tarnished when she told her friends that she had been given a leukemia diagnosis. However, Yudina made the decision to have fun whenever possible rather than obsessing over her condition. At the Killfish Bar in February 2020, Yudina spent the evening dancing, drinking, and joking. On this particular night, a competition for eating 3 choco pies, a chocolate dessert with marshmallow filling, was also being held. Yudina later decided to enter the competition even though she hadn't originally intended to. Yudina successfully consumed the first cake, but when she tried to have 2 cakes at once, she choked. Then Yudina tried to go to the bathroom, but she passed out on the way there. She started gasping for air while the cake was still in her mouth. Friends and bar employees attempted to open Yudina's airway, but they were unable. First responders were called to the scene as well, but regrettably, they were also unable to save Yudina. Number 2. Quick Noodles. Rekha Nishad, a 27-year-old woman from Mumbai, India, determined that the best approach to deal with the rat problem in her home was to lace her tomatoes with rat poison. Nishad made herself a batch of instant noodles on July 22, 2022. She did, however, unintentionally poison her noodles by adding one of the poison-laced tomatoes while cooking and watching television. Nishad started throwing up after eating the noodles, so he was rushed to a nearby hospital. Sadly, she passed away on July 22, 2022, while receiving therapy. Number 1. Cookie Fortunes. Elmer Oscar Barrera, age 26, worked for the Wonton Food Company, which makes noodles, wonton wrappers, and fortune cookies. He was from Houston, Texas. On April 27, 2014, a different worker sadly discovered Barrera's body inside a machine used to create fortune cookie dough. Barrera suffered severe blunt trauma injuries from the mixer, which led to his death being classified as an accident.